So here we have my heating mat with a control thermostat, and as you can see there's a dial on it and it's going to be pointed to about 70 degrees, and that way this thermostat will control this heating mat's temperature so that the soil is at 70 degrees. And you can see here this is a probe that I'm going to stick in the soil and it'll send the temperature back to this, and once the soil falls below that temperature, this will kick on and warm this heating mat, which will then warm the soil and get it up to the normal temperature. So here we go. I've watered my flat. I'll be laying them on my heating mat, which is a mat covered by a metal ground screen. I only have 2 trays for right now, but I've watered them. And now I have a humidity dome because seeds really like high humidity to germinate. It keeps the soil wet. It's a really favorable environment for them. So it's just a plastic cover that fits these trays. I use a little squirt bottle and I'll spray the inside. I like the squirt bottle because it produces very fine droplets that really stick to the whole cover. Now that I've done that, I just flip it over, put it on top, and I've created my own little germinating chamber. Now the important thing to remember is that this isn't self-ventilating, so if it's a warm sunny day, which happens a lot in the spring, especially inside of a greenhouse, you may have to come remove the germinating covers during the day if it's really sunny. And what I'll do by that is sometimes I'll just lift it up and put a little block here so that the heat can escape. Or if it's a super hot day, I might just take this off altogether and put it back on that night, because otherwise this will superheat to 150 degrees and kill everything inside. So very important to notice. So now that these are on, I'll take this one off, uncoil my probe. I'm going to stick it in the middle. Soil temperature might take a little fine tuning. I'll take my humidity dome, put it right over top, and we should be good to go. I'm just going to come over and I'll adjust that thermostat. And as you can see, the light is on, which means once I stuck that probe in the cold water soil, it said that it was not hot. But if you notice I turn it, you'll see that the light will go off. And so that means that it's slightly above 60, but not quite 70. I'm going to turn it back on. Red light's on. It should be heating. Go a little bit higher than 70 because it's early spring. Go about 75. And that will send the heat to the mat, which will then warm the soil. And once the soil reaches the set temperature, the probe will send the signal back to the control and it'll shut off. So a very automatic system, except for the ventilation. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Got something pretty cool to show you. So let me spin this camera around and let's take a look. Well, here I am closing up the greenhouse for the day. Just checking on my seedlings. And look at this. Already. Look at those babies germinating. And they were just seeded on Sunday. So that just goes to show you. This is lettuce and kale germinated in 3 days. Now, I did do something unnecessary where lettuce and kale does not need a heat mat. It'll germinate at room temperature. But I just wanted to try it. And to give you an example, so you can see the size of those ones, I'll go over to my baby lettuce mix that I made, and you can start to see some babies coming up. They're just not quite as big. So these were seeded without the heat mat, just normal room temperature, about 65 degrees. And they're already starting to break the surface. So, pretty cool stuff. I'm getting excited for spring and summer. Getting excited to grow some veggies and help you grow your own veggies. Stuff's expensive these days. Let's save some money and help out nature when we can. All right, till next time.